Hi there, this is Sunny from Sunny Side Up Crafts, and today I'm going to give an honest review of the Spinolution Worker Bee spinning wheel. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is the Worker Bee, and this is it fully open, fully ready to spin. I'm going to show you first I think one of the coolest features about this wheel is that it folds up into a little carry-on size piece of luggage. So you fold in this part, the footrest, and then you pull this little knob here and you can fold the whole thing down. So I can't do that one-handed, so I'm going to show you what it looks like. Ta-da! So that's what it looks like. Isn't it cute? And it's got like two little handles here in the back, so you can carry it like this or like this. Okay, so now let me show you some of the functions of the Worker Bee. Okay, so I'm going to start with the positives and then outline some of the things that I think are areas for improvement. So one of the things that I find wonderful about this wheel is the treadling action. So on this wheel, it's got these two big like wheels, basically drive wheels, okay? And it just takes the tiniest bit of treadling. See, my feet are barely moving, and really my heels don't even leave the footrest. It just sort of, you know, the littlest touch will get this thing going, and it is so quiet. This is probably one of the quietest wheels I've ever spun on because of this really smooth treadling action. I think that is one of the highlights of the Spinolution. People don't talk about it as much as some of the other things, but I think it's a major plus. The other thing I really like about this is that the pegs, or on the flyer arm, it's a peg system, an open peg system, meaning you don't have an enclosure. You just sort of like, you know, put your yarn in whatever slot you want to wind it onto the bobbin. The nice thing about it is you don't have to worry about your bobbles or locks or chunky crazy yarns getting stuck here because it is completely open. Other flyers might have rings or, you know, like guide hooks that go back and forth that are limiting in size. This does not have that problem. So you can get really chunky. The other nice thing about this is that everything, like I said, everything is magnetized, including this front maiden. So you just pop it off and then snap, pop it back in. Easy peasy. And you know, when you get yarns like wrapped up in there, if you know, screw up and you get yarns in there, it's very easy. You just remove this and you can, you know, fix that. The other nice thing about it is that because it is sort of meant as a travel wheel, it comes with these little, I love when there are little slots and places for things. I love that. And so you can take one of these and pop it into these side hooks or these holes and put your bobbin on there. It comes with three 16-ounce bobbins, so you can do that for when you're applying. Now, I will say that when you put it on the second one, something that I don't like about it is that it sort of makes contact with this little foot rubber stopper thingy. So I don't like the fact that it, you know, grazes up against that. So, slight design modification that I think needs to be made. Okay, so those are the positives. Some of the things that I think are problematic is the tensioning system on this wheel. The way that it exerts more and more tension onto the wheel or onto your system is through this tension block. The one that my wheel came with was actually a wooden tension block, and the regular maintenance on that is that you have to scrape off with a screwdriver any of the felt, and then you have to super glue on some new felt. I did this, I had to do that like within 1 week of owning this wheel, and it didn't work very well, so I contacted my dealer, and she was super nice and was able to get me this 3D printed tension block, which is a little stronger. And so the way that it works is that if you screw this in further and further, it exerts pressure on your flyer shaft, which runs from back here all the way through and onto the front. And that's what everything spins on, the flyer, the bobbin, everything. And so the more you screw this in, the more it exerts pressure in here and creates that tension. And like I said in a previous video, I like a lot of tension when I'm spinning thick, chunky yarns. And even with this new 3D printed bobbin, and even with it cranked in really far, I think that's pretty far, it is still not enough tension for me. So that's something that I didn't like about it. A lot of times I spin the yarn and then I have to hand wind it onto the bobbin. Not a deal breaker, you guys. It's not like it doesn't spin. It's not that big of a deal, but I found it irritating. And that's just me. The other thing is that, you know, I feel like the craftsmanship or craftspersonship is not the best. It's like a little wonky. Spinolution tends, I don't know, it's just a little janky compared to other wheels that I've had, sorry to say. It's fine. It doesn't impede function. Like, for instance, let me show you this footrest, which has nothing to do with anything, any of the actual function of the wheel. So I'm not complaining about the function. Is that this started like 1 week within having this wheel, this started coming apart, and I contacted them and they said, oh, just, you know, just glue it. And I found that was, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me to have to start gluing back pieces of the wheel together 1 week after I bought it, brand new. That, I don't know, that just seemed a little like, why wasn't it made well in the first place? And again, this thing doesn't have anything to do with the actual function of the wheel, so whatever, you know, I didn't raise a big stink about it, but it just like, you know, you get a wheel and then 1 week later things start falling apart and you're just like, come on, like, do it right in the first place. So, I would say, yeah, those are my main issues. The weak tension and things just like being a little janky, a little wonky. But I do think that the fact that this treadles so well, is so quiet. It's got this, what they call the golden whorl. That's what this is. It's literally gold colored back here. That is, I think, really cool. It's very quiet. It's all magnetic and snappy and things don't get stuck. So there you have it. That's my review of this wheel. I am selling it. I am getting rid of it because I have other wheels that I like better. For me, I think spinning wheels are kind of like cars. You know, you test drive a car and it might be perfectly fine and it just doesn't vibe with you. It doesn't feel like your car. And some cars, you sit in it and you're like, yes, this is the one I want to take road trips in. This one just happened to not be the one I want to take on road trips, the one I want to take off the lot. So I had it for 6 months. I think it's great, but I think I'm going to get rid of it because I want to move on. So that's my totally honest review of the Spinolution Worker Bee. I hope that was helpful. And let me know what you think. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.